Have you ever felt like the world just wasn't built for you? That no matter how smart, hardworking, or clever you are, there's a ceiling you just can't break through.
질문 하나만 해도 돼요?
That's where we meet the Kim family. I first watched Parasite, and honestly it hit me differently than anything else I'd ever seen. Not because of the twists, or the black comedy, or even the shocking violence, but because it felt real and relatable. This movie isn't just about poverty or wealth, it's about people, human ambition, desperation, and pride, and how those things collide. It's about the visible walls that divide us. And yes, it's absolutely brilliant cinema. Let's dive in. Now, before we begin, hit the subscribe button so you'll never miss any other video of mine. Right from the start, Bong Joon-ho immerses us into the Kim's family basement apartment. It's cramped, dimly lit, smells a bit weird, and every object, every detail screams, this is survival, not luxury. Notice the low ceilings, the awkwardly placed furniture, the tiny windows that barely let in daylight. The cinematographer captures this with tight, claustrophobic framing. You feel trapped with them. And yet, Bong injects humour here. The Kim's banter, their schemes to meet ends meet. The little joys, stealing Wi-Fi, selling sandwiches. It's almost funny, but the laughter has a bitter aftertaste. I remember my first reaction to the smell line. It's so simple, but it's so heartbreaking. You don't just laugh, you feel this string of social exclusion. How many times have we felt silently judged by someone, or feared being judged? There's something indivisible. That's what Bong taps into, universal shame and the human condition. When we pay attention to the character dynamics and human behaviour, the thing that makes Parasite so compelling is how every character feels seen, real, and sometimes painfully human. The Kim family isn't just poor, they're clever, desperate, funny, and scared. And the Park family isn't just rich, they're naive and indulgent, and often oblivious to how their actions affect the world around them. I personally love how Bong Joon-ho makes us emphasize with both sides without ever giving a lecture. For example, Ki-woo's ambition feels relatable. Who hasn't wanted a little upward mobility or dreamed a better life? At the same time, Mr. Park's frustration when things go wrong in his carefully controlled life is understandable too. It's messy, it's complicated, and that's exactly why it hits so hard. Notice how the tiny micro behaviors, the way the Parks fidget, the subtle power plays to Kim's pull. Bong uses these moments to tell you more than dialogue could ever. The scene where Kim's first meet the Park's housekeeper, for example, it isn't just funny, it's a subtle way in class difference, timing, and human awkwardness. And then there's this contrast in parenting styles. Mrs. Kim is protective but practical, willing to bend rules for survival. But Mr. Park is loving, but largely clueless about the risks his family faces. And that tension, it's genius, it's human, it's relatable, and it's something that keeps viewers invested emotionally for the entire film. Now, let's talk about the cinematography, because Parasite isn't just a story, it's a visual essay. Every shot is meticulously crafted to reinforce that class divide and tension. Take the house itself. For example, the Park house is spacious, modern, and minimalist, almost sterile. The camera often frames the Parks from below, emphasizing their dominance. The Kim's semi-basement home, on the other hand, is cramped, dim, and cluttered. This is all purposeful. When the camera frames them, it's often from above, making them feel smaller, more trapped, and more vulnerable. It's subtle but powerful storytelling through visuals alone. The film is filmed vertically, and I personally can't get over the way that Bong uses it as a metaphor. The stairs, the slopes, the basements, and the hill heading to the Park's house, they all tell a story of social hierarchy without actually saying a word. And the use of natural light is incredible. The lighting in the semi-basement feels heavy, almost suffocating, while the bright open sunlight in the Park's home reinforces the privilege and space. Then there's that rain scene. On one level, it's chaotic, almost slapstick, but it's also pretty heartbreaking because it visually shows how one family's misfortune contrasts with another's comfort. The cinematography doesn't just capture the story, it amplifies the emotional experience of the viewer. That's something I always try to pay attention to when I watch movies, and Bong's mastery here is really inspiring. Okay, moving on to the sound, this is another layer that often gets unnoticed by casual viewers. Parasite's score by Jung Ji-il is understated but eerie. It's also playful and at times deeply unsettling. I think it mirrors story's tonal shifts perfectly. For example, the music during the early seemingly comedic sequences is light and whimsical, but when things take a dark turn, the music shifts almost imperceptibly. This subtle manipulation keeps you on edge, emotionally aligned with the character's journey without feeling too forced. And the sound, the dripping water in Kim's semi-basement, the echo of rain in the Park's house, the clattering of dishes, even the sounds of footsteps, is all carefully chosen. It immerses you in the environment and gives you a subconscious sense of class separation and tension. Now, personally, I actually love the moments where Bong lets silence speak. The quiet between dialogue, the tension-filled pauses, is where you actually feel the character's anxiety and fear. This combined with the clever use of the sound and music creates a rhythm to the film that keeps viewers engaged, especially after the runtime. Now we get the heart of Parasite, the social commentary. This is where Parasite really hits you. At first glance, it seems like a story about a clever poor family sneaking into a rich family's world, but it's not. It's really about how society is stacked against people from the start. It's about the gaps between the haves and have-nots, and how those gaps shape behavior and even morality. What I love about Bong Joon-ho here is that he trusts the audience. He doesn't just stop and explain the lesson. There's no preachy speech about wealth or fairness. Instead, he actually shows the consequences, the struggle, the small humiliations, the constant pressure to keep up, and the tiny victories that feel like survival rather than success. Watching it, you can't help but feel sympathy and discomfort at the same time. The park's home is his perfect spacious world, but it has literal hidden depths, like the secret basement. It's not just a twist for shock value, it's a legitimate visual metaphor for the layers of society that we don't actually see. The people living there are invisible, just like the underclass often is in real life, doing the work, suffering, and existing unnoticed. It's clever, dark, and almost terrifying, when you think about it, really. What really gets me is how this movie lingers. It's a story that stays with you, even days later. Parasite is one of those films you could dissect 100 times and still find something new. If you enjoyed diving into it with me, stay tuned. There's plenty more films I want to break down, scene by scene, theory by theory.